Dancers come and go, always with a twirl.
Providing music you will enjoy. JM Production performers will brighten up your stage. Condominiums and residential communities, nightclubs and restaurants that want to provide top quality singers and entertainers for their social events, banquets, celebrations, and their customers use JM Productions to ensure that they have an uplifting and beautiful event. Now, tune in for the show.
The lights, dancing for my life.
And welcome to Don't Stop the Music. Now, I can't use that line because this is the second take. But it's really strange when you have to do these things, like live but not live, and then very live.
Lights, camera, action. I like the whole set. We're changing it up. You've kind of got this Ricky Ricardo music feel to this.
Blended me up. But anyway, it's not about me today. Don't Stop the Music. We have our friend Jeffrey, who last week's show, did really well.
It was a great show with Clarence.
Clarence, yes.
Of the Platters. Amazing show.
Yes. And people were asking me about the Platters and everything else. Now he's brought in another icon. Now this lady's been on Broadway. This lady does it all. I mean, the list here is tremendous.
Yeah, nothing is like when you go out and you actually hear live music again. And things opening up and you hear music. Going out Saturday night and there was music. And everyone said, you know what? This is what made the whole night. People still talk over it, but it's nice to hear the music go. And so I'm excited that we've got Judy Mark with us. We met Judy a little while ago on another show that we get to produce here. And her music and her dancing, it's got this infectious flair that everyone gets up and they just want to dance with her. And it was a whole lot of fun at the other side of the theater. I know.
She started and there were 20 people up there.
Which was great.
Like, what is going on here? But that's what she does.
So
She's
welcome Jeffrey, and welcome Judy. Jeffrey, it's been a little bit. Good to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Let's give a little background on JM Productions, what you do, and what's going forward with it.
JM Productions is a management company. We manage the artists, singers, entertainers, musicians. We book them. We do videos, we do electronic press kits, branding, marketing, everything relating to their careers. And with the pandemic being lifted, things are, as I said last week, the phones are ringing off the hook. So it's really been really good to see people back out in the theaters and the venues and performing, and everybody seems to be in a good mood now that they've been locked up for 16 months.
What are people looking for now that things are reopening?
They're looking for a variety of things. I mean, whether it be musical theater or an act such as Judy's, who has 2 shows already that she's very famous for in New York and here in South Florida, or just getting out there and seeing the smile on people's faces, and it's been really terrific.
It's nice to see people enjoying the music again, getting out there, and getting back into life.
Everybody seems to have a happier face, outlook on things right now, so that's cool.
Which is really great. Well, welcome, Judy.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm watching you sit there. She's got the most amazing dancer's legs. You can all see this when you're watching, but I'm like, wow, it's just beautiful.
Well, your legs are pretty nice too.
Oh, well, thank you. Tell us what you do. You've got an extensive background as far as teaching and dancing and singing. What are you currently doing?
I am currently not teaching because I spent a long time teaching, and I think I burnt out. But it was something that I'm very, very grateful that I did do. But currently, I'm taking all of my experience and working them into my one-woman shows. And that is my goal, and that is what I work on every single day. But I also audition for film and TV. I'm here, and I'm also in New York City. So I do a variety of things in New York City. I do a lot of self-taping for auditions, and hopefully I'll get something going soon because of COVID.
What's involved in your one-woman shows?
I have the show that I perform the most is called Dancing Through Life, singing songs made famous by the ladies who dance. That would include Miller, Miranda, McLean, and many, many more. And what I do, it's a tribute show. Although I don't try to be like these women, but they inspired me. So I talk a little bit about them, and then I sing the songs that they made famous. But I never try to imitate anybody.
Just be you. And is it currently ready to go in production?
Yes, it's ready to go. I mean, I could do it in a half an hour.
So Jeffrey, where are you going to put it? Let's book it.
Well, she's done the show at several locations right before the pandemic, and now we're promoting it for the future. So she'll be getting some bookings soon.
And I also have another show called Laughing Through Life. And that is a combination of all the backstage stories that I collect that had to do with songs that people know, along with some parodies. And that's a fun show. I haven't had a chance really to open up with that one, but I'm looking forward to bookings with Laughing Through Life.
That's what you got to
That's
do.
what the feel I get for her is that she has laughter. I got to see some of the videos. I got to see her when she was with Ken that day. And she brings this whole "it's okay to laugh" deal back to Broadway. I mean, it just has this feel about. I used to be a Broadway junkie, off Broadway, and off Broadway even when I was up in New York City. But it's great to see that that's coming back, and I like that Jeff brings in guests because that whole throwback of the '80s and '90s is what's happening right now. And it's really nice to see it do. What part of all the things, I mean, you do jazz, you do everything. You play the piano too?
My mother was a pianist, so I learned a few things, but I never went that direction with the formal piano, even though I had lessons, but I didn't become a pianist like her. I danced. She played, I danced. We bonded, and that's how it started.
And that's the one part you like of everything, all the talents you have is to be able to dance?
Well, yes. I mean, dancing is like, it's joyful. It's full expression. Use the whole body. It's artistic. It's everything that I fell in love with. When my mother would play, she would use her hands and she would do these beautiful things, and then I would use my hands and I would do things, and that was how it started. I didn't expect to be a dancer or a dance educator or any of that. But I must tell you about this because this is very important in my life, because I was trying so hard to become a Broadway dancer or a professional dancer in New York City, and every day it was a struggle because everyone goes to New York to try to make it. So the lyrics in my song that I wrote has to do with the pounding the pavement and the waiting in line and the heat of the summer and trying and trying and trying. And I did this for years, and I was in many shows. I did off-Broadway film, TV, dance companies. I did everything I could possibly do, but it still wasn't enough because I couldn't make a living at it. And I wanted my own apartment. I wanted to be able to buy a piece of the apple. So one day I just said, I have to do something else. So I marched down to the Department of Education in New York City and applied for a license to teach dance. And I already had one of my master's degrees in dance and choreography. So I was qualified to do this. But there weren't any jobs. There were maybe 5 people that had a job teaching dance in New York City at the time. So I was one of the pioneers.
Wow.
And when I got my job at one particular school, high school, I was so thrilled and so enthused because I could share what I know and what I love with teenagers, you know, and they were just like wild, you know, like Miss Mark, you know, like I want to dance, you know, but that they had to learn what I knew, which was ballet, and they had to learn the right way to do it. And modern dance, and then jazz, and I developed a 4-year sequential program. So by the time they were seniors, they were all lined up to go on the stage and they've been prepared to choreograph their own pieces that meant something to them from their hearts and perform it on stage and look somewhat professional. And they were wonderful. These kids were marvelous. And they won scholarships to some colleges, Long Island University. They won scholarships to the Martha Graham School, the famous Martha Graham School, where I was a scholarship student. It was just awesome how much progress these kids could make and how much of a difference I could make in their life. You know, really important stuff, not just silly stuff.
Did they make it to Broadway? Did you ever get to see one of your students make it there?
Nobody that I taught made it to Broadway because that wasn't all. Their goals were different.
Gotcha.
One young man followed in my footsteps and started a dance program at Port St. Lucie High School, and he's doing phenomenal. Another young lady went to California, and she was in a Nike commercial. She was from Africa, and she had an amazing leap, which she acquired, believe it or not, from escaping a civil war in her country. And she and her father used to have to leap. It sounds horrible, but she told me they had to run away from the soldiers and leap over dead bodies to get to where they could get out of the country. And so she was an amazing dancer. I mean, athlete, actually. So she did a commercial for Nike. It's funny how these things come around.
That's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
And through dance and free expression, and that's what you're finding that kids want to do again.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have that free expression.
Well, she couldn't even talk. She couldn't even speak English. She was so shy. She was so scared. And I worked with her for 4 years. And she loved me, you know. She was just so glued to me. And I said, Rose, you have to make your story of the Civil War. You have to bring that to life in your choreography. And she did. And her mother still stays in touch with me.
Wow.
I think she went back to her country and started a school.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Bringing it
You know what
forward.
they always say, that teachers and educators, they make such a difference in shaping their minds, because you helped her give the expression of what she was feeling, and it's okay to have those stories and that freedom of expression, and now to give back to the next generation, which is unbelievable.
But they must learn discipline. If they don't learn discipline, they can't do anything. They can't repeat what they did last if they don't have the discipline to remember what they did.
It's the foundations, like we
Focus.
spoke about.
Well, you have to have the foundations in order to go forward, and it was she probably learned how to get that foundation going. She got the gig in California, and hopefully she is doing the school and pushing it forward. Now we have a segment, a piece of music that we want to play. Do you want to cue this up for us?
Well, this song, my friend Norman Bergen from Broadway shows that I knew him for, we became friends, and we didn't see each other for many years. And he asked me if I could write some lyrics, and my mother was a songwriter. So I started to write the story of my dance life that I just explained to you somewhat. And the lyrics came easy to me because pounding the pavement, who cares about the heat, and dancing for my life, you know, never-ending struggle, never-ending strife. And these words came to me easily, and Norman put the music to it, and that's what you're about to hear.
Okay,
Perfect.
let's
All
play
right,
it.
Let's
We've
play that
also
up
used it. We also use it as the intro now for all of.
for the show.
Don't Stop the Music at the beginning and the end, part of the song.
Very nice. All right, let's cue that up. Let's play it.
Breathing through my troubles, trying to be smart, living with another, passion in my heart. Partners come and go, always with a twirl. Boy, it's not so easy being a dancing girl. a night. Dancing to the lights, dancing for my life. My body is my temple, living in my feet, pounding pavement in the city. Who cares about the heat? Marching to a drummer, rhythm in the seat. Expression is my driver, passion is my treat. You're living in a fantasy, but life is not a dream. Rolling, reaching, jumping, sighing, sometimes I wanna scream. All I am is what I am, so how can I complain? My body at work is my body at work, it's so hard to explain. Dancing, dancing. Dancing, dancing. Dancing, dancing, all I have is time. Never-ending search, never-ending climb. Dance through darkness, cut it like a knife. Dancing to the lights, dancing for my life. Dancing, dancing. Dancing, dancing. Dancing for my life.
During that, I said to Judy, I said, is that you? Is that you? Unbelievable. I've never been to Studio 54, so understanding that I'm a Florida girl, so to me, all I did was hear about Studio 54, and for you to actually be dancing there is like, wow, this whole icon.
Studio 54 was the place at one time. It's funny because when I used to go there, if you missed a week, there was these passes they gave you. And if you missed a week, then you had to get back in somehow. Somebody had to know you to get in there. It's kind of strange.
How did so many people go every week?
Oh, it's
Over and over. It's packed?
used to-
I don't know, but I'll tell you the truth because I like to tell the truth. That the scenes in Studio 54 were not me. The other clips that you see, the dancing, all the single dancing, that's me. And we use the Studio 54 background to get across the music. It's not a disco music, but it has a disco feel to it. It's a pop rock song, and that's the way Norman treated it with the music. So we selected clips that sort of reinforce that.
It's definitely got a catchy tune. I know we love playing it on Mondays when you air your show on WNN, just like this one is airing, which is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Jeffrey, what do you have next planned for Judy?
It's a different, it's actually a different genre for Judy compared to what she sings in the Dancing Through Life and Laughing Through Life shows. And so when I first heard it, she, as she said, she wrote it, really impressive, and it really sounded really well done. And with Norman's help, hopefully we'll be able to get it out there on the airways. And that's going to be one of many songs that they're working on now, collaborating on, which will be a different genre for her to put together a completely different show that she's done in the past. In other words, this will be her third show, hopefully.
Now, Judy lives in New York, correct?
I have an apartment in New York, yes.
And you fly back and forth?
Yes.
Are you going to be here for the summer, let's say?
Well, right now I'm cast in a musical review in New York that's going to be playing August 8th. So I'm deep into rehearsals. So I'm going back Thursday. But and then I have something in New Jersey, a performance in New Jersey in September. And for sure when it gets cold, I'll be back here. Because I have a home here.
What type of musical review show?
This show is called Back to the 20s. and it features some really great talent in it, and from cabaret, the cabaret type of talent in New York. And it's a review, so there's going to be different kinds of 20s music. I have 3 songs in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where are you going to be? Where is the show?
It's going to be at Long Beach Temple in Long Beach, New York.
Okay. So anyone
Yeah.
who's listening or watching,
It's always going to be videotaped, yeah.
Okay.
So
it's amazing. Go
And
back
where
to
are
the
you going to be
20s.
doing something in New Jersey?
in New Jersey, that's an interesting story. Union City, actually, to answer your question directly. Okay? I've performed there a few times. There's a place called Cabaret at the Museum. And a dear friend of mine is actually the commissioner there. And so they invited me back 3 times, so I'm returning again.
Union City, I did a lot of work in Union City. I redid a bowling alley in New York City. There was an icon building, and Howard Stern celebrated his Christmas party in the building. That was my 15 minutes of fame with Howard Stern's. It's a beautiful town, a lot of history attached.
Very
to it.
historic.
But hopefully she'll, after the September gig in New Jersey, she'll be here for the winter season.
So what are you planning to do
winter.
with Judy? during
What
the
am I
winter
planning to do? Get her a lot of gigs. That's what I'm planning on doing.
Well, the gigs are beginning to change. They are opening up to different ideas, probably because they got so used to people who they work with in the past doing their thing, and a lot of people have stopped doing that. People have changed what they want to do with their life. So this could be an interesting window for what's about to happen. Things are changing right now.
The thing with Judy is, she's well known in New York and the Northeast area, but the venues down here in South Florida that we've been contacting and showing her videos of the 2 shows she's got, they don't know of Judy Mark. And so, as you know, it's hard to break into a new market.
Yeah.
And hopefully, with what we're doing here, Don't Stop the Music Show, and putting it out on the iHeart apps and through Amazon and Hulu and so forth, hopefully she'll get noticed, and still the kind of business is who you know.
Isn't that with everything and anything, right? It's always about relationships and who you know. But Jeffrey, I can't think of anyone better than to help produce you than Jeffrey Weinstein from JM Productions. You definitely have the pulse on what's going on. I know you've got some gigs opening up at the Arts Garage in Delray Beach, another one this month.
I have Arts Garage coming up this month, the end of the month, the Ultimate Tribute Show, which features 3 artists that do Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, and Barbra Streisand. Very successful show wherever it's been. We're now booked into November into the Delray Beach Playhouse and the Meisner Cultural Center for a show with Sharon Rubin called 2 Guys and a Doll Do Broadway. Our friend J.C. Dreesen is going to be doing Cocoa Woods sometime later this year or early next. And Judy will be doing some performances as well during the winter season here.
Unbelievable. We got to see JC a couple of weeks ago up at the Arts Garage, and we bought a table. She was better than ever.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So she was fantastic. Check it out. If you've got any questions, you can contact Jeffrey for booking at 954-638-0270. Check out JM Productions. You can just Google it, JM Productions, or as always, you can reach us here at the cafe. Judy Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Jeffrey, as always, a pleasure. Give them a call, 954-638-0270. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Breathing through my troubles, trying to be smart, living with another, passion in my heart, partners come and go, always with a twirl.
Thank you for tuning in to Don't Stop the Music. For more information about how to brighten up your stage, contact JM Productions at 954-638-0270 or email President of JM Productions Florida, Jeffrey Weinstein at jeffreyweinstein1@aol.com.